Hello, my name is Ilona and this is going to be a short video and I hope I'll be able to upload it, but they're doing some work around my neighborhood and they weren't sure, at least I got that message, if I'm going to have internet or not. So it's a possibility I won't have any internet for the rest of the day. So I'd like to take a look at the USA. Of course, we saw the happening yesterday and all the weird stuff going on there, but it's pretty clear that it was all a show. That's how I see it. It's just a show. It's really for the people that aren't awake at all, but there are messages in there, and I do think things are going to get more blatant. I want to take a look at the energy of the United States of America, and Mr. T is showing so much during the rally now. We are really starting to see things. So I think more and more truths are really going to come out, not vague anymore, just really up in the faces of people. But I'm just going to take a look. See, this card flips over. It's about old pain. It's really important that people begin to understand what's really going on and not hold on to this old pain or not wanting to see this old pain. There are a lot of people, of course, raised in a very dysfunctional way, and of course they've created all kinds of coping mechanisms, and of course part of that coping mechanism is not to look at their own pain, not to deal with their own pain. So they don't want to hear the truth, in essence, because they will have to look at their own pain if they're going to deal with those truths. So I'm just going to see what other cards are going to come out. This is the card above, the central card for America, the Emperor. The card in the past, we have the Sun. Card underneath the central card, we got the Five of Wands. And for the near future for America, we have the Knight of Cups and the Star. Oh, that's very beautiful. As you can see, I do believe that the military are really behind the scenes running this. I truly believe that it doesn't mean that they can immediately show everything. They follow a certain law. They follow, of course, their conduct and their way of how they perceive things. They do not want to create all kinds of unrest, so they are following a plan to make the transition as smooth as possible. Although I do believe there's going to be chaos. It's already starting. You see here that there is, fighting along. There are people that are completely hypnotized with all kinds of agendas and just following them without knowing what those agendas are really all about. And that's pretty sad. They have no idea what they really are fighting for. They think they're fighting for a certain good thing and they're completely spiraling in that. You especially see with all these things, it's just, there is so much going on, so much agendas are being shown now, and a lot of people completely are, how to say this, entrenched in that, in those agendas, in that ideology, sort of. It's almost like a religion sometimes when you look at all these things about climate and gender, and I do believe that everyone has the right to just live their lives, but it's something else if you're going to push it on other people, and especially with the climate. There is really nothing wrong with the climate. So this is really about old pain, not wanting to deal with it, and this is the near future. And I do believe there will be something, it will be another atmosphere coming in. The Knight of Cups is also giving something, so I think people will start to see what's really going on, even at a deeper level than it is now. Can be shocking for people, but there's a lot of support, also a lot of spiritual support, and from off-worlders helping with this situation from above. Maybe even, I do believe they've been working underground to make sure everything is closed off that should be closed off. But the Star is also about a positive new hope, and we are really going towards this new world. It's going to get hectic, it's going to get very confusing, especially for people that have no idea and no clue what is going on. People that don't want to know, they want to stay and remain in this how to say this, their own pain. They don't want to look at that So the problem is if you have people that were brought up in a certain way, not to deal with their emotions, not to deal with their feelings, frustrations, anger, they have a tendency, and not all, but some of them, to project it outside. So instead of dealing with their own anger, they just throw it outside. They throw out their frustration. It's always about someone else doing this, and not. It's like it's never about them. They won't look at their own actions. They won't look at their own way of thinking. They're the victim. And that is going to be a big issue for those people to really... You cannot become strong and truly powerful as a spiritual being if you do not accept your own responsibility, if you do not look at yourself. So that's going to be an issue, because the energies they're raising the energies. We are going to be more and more going towards this spiritual world. So people will have to understand what's going on, and that things will change. You can see it even around. A lot of people become even more negative. The problem is that the energy is changing, and it's really touching all those things that need to be healed. We cannot take all that baggage with us in this new beautiful world. We'll have to work through it. We have to heal it. And you can only heal it by seeing it. So everything is going to come up now. And there are a lot of people everywhere around the world, not just in America, that do not know how to deal with that and start to get very aggressive or frustrated or anger. Some people kind of turn against themselves and get very, very depressed and just can't get out of that. So there's a lot going on, but this is really about healing at a very, very deep level. And you can only truly become who we are supposed to become if we truly feel and embrace ourselves and completely accept ourselves for everything. And that also means our negative sides, things that we carried for so long. We need to face that. We need to heal and deal with that. And how to say this? Embrace it, feel through it. There's still a lot to be done at that level. I do think that that's really the work that we are supposed to be doing worldwide. And I'm also going to take a look at the energies worldwide. Let's see. The energy worldwide. Oh, we've got the Lover's card. The central card is the Knight of Cups. That's interesting. We have the Star again. We've got the Ace of Pentacles underneath the central card. We have the Ten of Cups for the future. And the Two of Swords. That's interesting. I'm just going to get another, the military with the Two of Swords. So we are going to be given a chance to truly heal. I do believe that. We have the Lover's card, really starting to live our lives from our hearts, from our intuition, from our connection with God, our connection with the universe, with the source. That is the most important thing, that we really start living from that, understanding that we are spiritual beings. And the most important thing we have to do is deal with our energies in ourselves, really connect with ourselves. We connect with ourselves, we connect with source. This is a new beginning. I think you can already feel it in the energy. I'm sure there are a lot of people feel this change in energy. I see that the light, if the sun is here, it's brighter. There's something different about it. The nature has a different energy. So we are already stepping into this new energy, new world. But we do have to, of course, do our part in this as well. It's not just about the whiteheads taking care of things and then we can sit back and do nothing. That's not... We as humanity have to step up. We cannot give away our power to anyone else but ourselves. Not to, of course, the dark energies, not to the whitehead as well. They are helping us, but we have to step up as humanity and accept our responsibilities and start manifesting what we want. So we have the Ten of Cups. Beautiful card. We are really moving towards this beautiful new loving world that we really long for. At least I'm longing for. different way of handling things, different way of understanding, and truly be connected with everything and everyone around you. Because if you are connected to source, you're connected to everyone. That is so important to understand. We do have the Two of Swords. So I do believe there will be, this is also the military, the emperor. So I do believe a lot of people will get very confused if the military is really going to step in, if the white hats are really going to take over, so to speak, the puppets. They're not going here to take over and tell us exactly what we're supposed to be doing for the rest of our lives. That's not going to happen. That has nothing to do with what's going on. This is about the Great Awakening, the empowerment in ourselves. So we're not going to give away our power to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Very important. So the Two of Swords, there'll be a lot of people confused, not understanding, because like I've mentioned before, not everyone is willing to look at their own part, look at their own responsibility. Especially with the military, if it's going to be in your face what's going on, if there are going to be changes, we're going to see truths coming out, and people will be very confused. So I do believe that people that are open for help, we should support. Of course, people that are aggressive or really don't want to have anything to do with you, are going to stay in their bubble, the only thing we could do is just leave them, because there's nothing we can do for them. People have to decide for themselves which way they want to go, if they want to open themselves up or not. That is up to each and every one of us to make that decision. We can't do that for someone. So they can still, of course, when things are going to happen, we don't know when, but if it's going to happen, that can lead to a lot of people, no clue what's going on. It can lead to a lot of frustration. It can get still very messy, especially when things, the damage of the stings are going to come out. People will be confused. People can get very angry, especially if they have no way of dealing with their anger, or they haven't learned how to deal with their anger. It can really be lashed out into the environment, so to speak. Everyone has the right to be angry. Anger is actually a very important emotion. It's very important feeling to, if someone steps over your boundaries, that is a sign. Anger shows you there's something wrong, there's something not right with, not aligned with you, or something stepping over your feelings, or not, how do you say this? They're stepping over your boundaries, and then you have every right to be angry. The problem is, because a lot of people have grown up dysfunctional. I was in a dysfunctional family. We are not allowed to handle our anger. We have no idea. So there are a lot of people completely penned up with all kinds of angers. In a way, that anger just, they have all these experiences and couldn't do something with their anger. They can really lash out because they haven't been able to really heal that part. Anger itself is just a sign that you should look at the situation. But if you are not capable to handle it, it is possible that it could, ricochet back to you. You could get very depressed. A lot of people that don't know how to handle their anger get very depressed. There are all kinds of ways of handling it. And there are also people that are always angry all the time. And it's almost impossible to talk to them. If you say something that they don't like or doesn't fit with them, they just lash out. So it's very important that people deal with their own baggage, that they really start to look at these old pains, the shadow work. That is one of the most important things that we really need to deal with right now. And of course, it's up to someone to do that work or not, but it's going to be very difficult, I'm afraid, that if you do not do the work and you are in higher energies, those inner things will manifest faster. So you'll be confronted with the baggage, so to speak, or the reflection of that in your surroundings. So people will need to start understanding how that works. So that is very, very important. The inner awakening, that is really the true great awakening, that people wake up to who they really are. They're spiritual beings. We are here to connect with source, to connect with God. And that's really the most important part. And we can do that by working with our own energies and looking at our own shadow. I'd like to leave it at this. I hope to see you in another video. Bye.